We'll do a dad joke, then we'll
No.
then we'll do barbershop talk.
No.
Then we'll do barbershop talk.
Don't bring your shit here.
And
this is ran differently around here.
We'll
Okay?
do shout outs.
Wait a minute. We let you talk.
And welcome back to another great episode of the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Hey.
What's going on?
Oh, you know. Nothing.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Struggling?
Yeah, a little bit.
You just got the second dose of
I
the
did.
vax?
Well, and that was after a quick checkup appointment.
That wasn't so quick.
Turned into let's see, my appointment was at 10:15 and I got home around 5:30.
Yeah, about.
Yeah.
But I mean, you also got the vaccine. That took about
that was
half
only
an hour?
that was like maybe 45 minutes total,
right.
with like waiting, getting it, and then waiting again. But yeah, so I showed up and the whole office had changed.
Oh, right.
And
Right.
at 37 weeks pregnant, that's
They changed like management or something, right?
yeah.
And then that included a whole
Everything. They literally
everything.
changed the waiting room. They changed the bathroom. They changed the toilet paper holders. They changed everything. And I think that kind of spiked the blood pressure a little bit. And then it was still high after several checks. So they made me go to triage, labor and delivery, and have an ultrasound and tests and stuff just to make sure everything was okay. And thankfully my it was a couple hours, but my blood pressure went down and I was able to leave.
Because if not, we would have been doing this podcast from labor and delivery.
Yeah, I told him that he needs to slow his roll.
Right.
And that it's not time yet. And
Right.
yeah. So thankfully he listened, because he hasn't listened for most of this pregnancy. So.
Well, I'm super excited for today's podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have my best friend and co-host of the Keith and John Show podcast, Mr. Keith Betterson, is on the line. Hello, Keith.
Whoa, you hit it with the mister. Oh,
Yeah.
man. All right. Look at that.
You know?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Let me just say, I'm going to go on record. This might be the blackest Black Rally episode you have.
It's Riley Black, but I see where you're going.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do that.
We'll give you that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It is. This might be the blackest one.
Might be.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. On that note.
So first of all, well, thank you for having me. First of all, so I appreciate the invites.
Of course.
So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, more than just my best friend, and really best friend label is kind of insulting. My brother and co-host of our podcast, you have really supported the Riley Black just endeavor.
Movement.
Yeah, the movement, the Riley
Yeah.
Black movement. You were there with the T-shirts,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the flasks. Right, he got a flask, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I did. I did.
You've gotten a lot.
You've got a lot.
I got a flask for.
Oh yeah, for your
the
daughter
oldest
and your wife.
and my wife.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've just been, anytime you see something that you like, you've been good about hitting her up first and seeing, hey, can you make this?
Yeah, I always get this text message around 3 weeks before holiday. What you
Yes.
got for this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why that's how it ties into this podcast.
Yeah.
And a little cross pollination, seeing as how this podcast is doing a lot
Well,
better than ours.
Let's just throw that out there real quick. How many?
No,
how
we
many
don't need to get into numbers.
How
We don't
many
need.
plays
we-
y'all
you know,
got
First of all,
on-
what you're not going to do is insult us like that. Ask about numbers. We don't do this for the numbers, okay?
I
We
didn't
do
bring
this
up
for
the
the
numbers.
love.
we
of
do
the
this for
art.
the love of the game.
Love of the art.
That's
That's the
it.
love of the game. That's what we do this for.
That's it. And if you enjoy the rest of this podcast, please feel free to follow the Keith and John Show podcast anywhere podcasts are available. Follow us on Instagram, the Keith and John Show, and email us at the Keith and John Show.
Oh no! All right.
Okay, sorry.
We're not gonna do
enough.
that?
That's enough.
Calm down.
We'll do that at the end. That's the Keith and John Show podcast.
I got one question.
What's that?
Are you listening?
Are
That's
you
all
listening? That's it.
Are you
That's
listening?
what we
That's
ask.
all we want.
That's what we ask. Are you listening?
Are you guys done?
For now.
Okay.
Actually,
We
you know what?
gotta
No,
push our
okay,
numbers.
wait,
We gotta
real
get our
quick.
numbers up.
Real quick. I just want to say I was really stoked that you asked me, and I did some homework on
Oh.
lasers.
Oh.
Yeah. So like laser hair removal.
I'm real
and-
interested. we'll get to that. Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay. I got you. All right.
so let's talk about first just a real quick, if you guys can do that, a quick synopsis of how you guys met.
In the club.
No,
Living
you
room.
and Keith.
Club living room. We did.
In
Me
the
and
living
Keith.
room?
So
You didn't
No,
meet at work?
wait. Was it
No,
wait,
so
is it
we
living
worked-
room or billboard? One of the two.
no, it was living room. I wasn't around for the billboard days. So
Oh.
we both worked at a news station here, and this isn't a plug, but in our podcast we call it the just one station.
Just-
Right.
Or
just
that one station. That one
Yeah.
station.
That one station.
That one station.
one
So we worked at that one station together, but we worked opposite shifts.
Oh, okay.
And we had one friend in common who was like a club promoter and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he would get us all in. So Keith and I technically met at Club Living Room on South Beach.
So you guys met at a club?
Right.
And we all met at a
right.
club.
Yeah.
How cute.
So we met at a
up in the
club
clear.
working opposite shifts, and then so I knew of Keith for what was it, like a few years before I switched over to night side. And then and then
we
Keith
were
was
sworn enemies in the beginning because we were on two different shifts.
Right,
so
right,
I was on the evening shift. He was on the morning shift.
right,
So it
Bloods
was
and
like,
Crips.
we hate all the Bloods and Crips. I hate
Yeah.
those dudes because
Yeah,
they don't do
nothing.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then I went over, and Keith was kind of like my one of like my only friends on that shift. So I kind of like, and then it went from there.
Right.
So
right.
that's a quick.
Well, and so then we talked about how I met both of you on the podcast where we talked about how we met.
Right. Because
Yeah.
we all went on. Keith went on the Vegas trip as well.
Vegas, baby.
That's
Yes.
it. Everything goes back to Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we all know each other.
Yes. Through working clubs. Yes.
Yeah.
And then so I started selling t-shirts after I had JR,
Right.
and Keith is
He loves
t-shirt
t-shirts.
connoisseur.
I'm a t-shirt. Yeah, I'm a t-shirt guy.
So- He would always send me screenshots of, I want this.
Right.
There were many times I told him no. Can we talk about the time that you sent me a shirt that had like 17 paragraphs on that thing? Of like,
Yeah,
What was
it was
Declaration of Independence.
it could have been.
Like that.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The
was
proclamation.
Like, one of those things where
God.
I can't remember now.
Like what was it?
it was a
like,
description of something. I can't
yeah,
remember what
I
it
don't
was.
know. It was like one of
uh,
those. This is an accountant that does this, or something.
Right.
I don't know something. It
was a long paragraph.
It was ridiculous.
Oh, I remember what it was. Now I remember what it is. It's one of those T-shirts that gave like all these compliments about my boyfriend is this or my husband is that.
Yeah.
This is, and then at the end it says, and yes, my husband bought me this T-shirt. This is one of those long.
Yeah.
Oh, one of those
Yeah,
shirts.
that's-
Yeah.
one
Oh
of
my
those,
God.
yeah. It's one of those.
So long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so sometimes he would send, ridiculous requests, and I'd just be like, no, can't. But other times he would send ones that were totally possible, and I would make it happen. And he was there was a point there where like each paycheck, Keith was like sending me basically.
Child support.
Ew, no. Like, we'll say an allowance is what I was
Okay,
thinking,
allowance.
I guess, or like a deposit, because
I
like,
was just thinking what
Yeah.
comes out of your paycheck.
yeah, true,
Yeah, no.
true. But yeah, it was almost like a direct deposit almost every week, because it was every other week. It was, I want this shirt, and then so much so that he would forget what he asked for.
Yeah, it's so true.
How much
So true.
how much do I owe you?
How much do I owe
And
you?
what
And what's coming?
What shirts
Wait,
am I
what-
getting?
what's coming? What am I getting again? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I would just send money, and then I would get stuff, and then
Yeah.
it never fails. My wife would be like, "What about that one shirt?" I'm like, "Oh, I totally forgot about that shirt." And then I would be too embarrassed to ask, and I'm like, "All right, whatever."
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Because he would send so many that like they would kind of get buried, and I'd even forget about some of the shirts. So there's probably totally some shirts that we discussed that just never got made because
Yep. Never
there
got made.
was there was a lot. It would be so many sometimes. It'd be like 6 shirts, and I'd be like, okay, which ones do you want first? Like, tell me the order of priority
Right.
for these
Right.
shirts.
And then like every so often you're like, oh well, I need some money for shipping. And I'm thinking to myself, well, how much would shipping really cost? And then when I get the box, I'm like, oh, that's why shipping was so much. Because I didn't know I had that
6 shirts
6
weighs
shirts and
3 pounds. Yeah.
And then some keychains in there,
Right.
and then there's this and that, and then there's another
And a
little
sign
trinket
and
for
yeah.
a sign for a Mother's Day card. Oh man. So yeah, it would always be a bunch of stuff.
And one thing I've learned from doing the show with Keith that I didn't know is how much he does support small business and local businesses.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to ask you, because I've never asked you on our show, where does that come from?
Oh man, I think, and I can't exactly remember when exactly. But I just got this whole notion of at one point where you would see these shows where these guys would go to like these bars or they go to this place and like people would know who they are, and I thought that was really good, and just like and you usually get that from some kind of local spot.
Right.
You go in there a lot, and all of a sudden they realize, they remember your name, they remember certain things about you and things like that. So I was all about, small businesses because at the end of the day, the bigger Amazons and Walmarts and all those, they're going to get their money, regardless. They're going to get money from whoever. But some of these other businesses, that are really small and really local, they do depend on, especially before the internet blew up, they really depended on who was in that area to hook them up, So that's what I would always do. Like whenever I move somewhere, I try to find out, okay, where's the local barbershop, where's the local sub shop, where's the local this, local that, and try to really do things locally. So I got to a point where, like I said, I'm a t-shirt guy or whatever. So, you go on Facebook and they have t-shirts galore of this place, that place. The phone's always listening. And,
especially
whatever.
If Facebook knows you like t-shirts, every other ad's going to be for another t-shirt.
It's going to be t-shirts. So I'm like, oh my God, it's t-shirt. So when you started making t-shirts, I was like, well, what's the difference in price? Now, I will say this, when it comes to some local businesses, and yours included, because you are local and you are a small business, things are going to be a little bit more expensive. Right. It is what it is. Yeah. But not outrageously expensive. So my thing is, if I find a t-shirt online and they're telling me it's $25. Right. And I'm like, okay. But then I go to you and you say, well, I can make that shirt for $30. And on top of that, which I will give you, you always had better quality stuff. You always had like soft shirts, which I loved. So,
yes, I was very, The soft shirts and stuff were my favorite. I hated when I would always call them basic. Well, sometimes I call them basic and bougie, or like the basic shirt or the like premium shirt. The basic shirt was like the Gildan, Target, Walmart, just generic shirt. And it was a lot cheaper too. I mean, so it was like, those shirts were maybe, you could get them as cheap as like $1 or $2. But the soft one I was getting, especially if you go up into like the 2Xs or anything like that, they were $5 to $8. And that's a lot when you're only making like, the profit margins on t-shirts is really small, which I've talked about before, which is why I stopped doing them, because it was a lot of work for not a lot of money. But I wanted the like quality, I wanted it to be like a shirt you actually like, not the scratchy boxy ones from yeah.
Right. So my thing was, if I'm going to, support a small business, it's even better when you personally know the people. So with me, putting in an order for you, and granted, if I went to the other place, I'd pay less and probably get the shirt quicker.
Right.
But I felt, I knew you and I knew where the money was going and stuff like that. I said, well, I'll wait the extra week or two. And plus it's a better quality shirt and stuff like that. And, people ask me, where'd you get the shirt? Now I can, proudly say, oh, my boy's wife makes it, and it's Riley Black. Da da da. Look up it on Facebook and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
very proud of local business, but especially if I personally know the people or I have some kind of personal connection. So that's why I was always like, that was a match made in heaven. I know you guys. I love t-shirts. You're making t-shirts, so any chance I got to get a t-shirt, whether it was something I asked or something you had put out there,
Yeah.
I was going to get. And then when you branched out to other things, I was like, oh, this is great. Like you said, 3 weeks before Mother's Day or someone's
Christmas
birthday, Christmas or whatever. What do you got?
Right.
I got this, and that. All right, give me that, one of those, two of those. Now send this one here, send that one over there.
Right. Yep.
So this goes to Jacksonville. That goes to Broward County.
Yeah.
That goes, This goes to Miami. So it's great. It's great. So that's the whole thing. I just felt that local businesses, they should, get their fair share. And like I said, I'm just really big on that. And especially when they have that local business day of the week or that week or whatever, celebrate that. I try to go to as many local businesses as I can to get whatever I can get, so.
Yeah,
that's
that.
it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a lot of people, thankfully I have a lot of friends who support me and who like value my work, and I mean sometimes even like pay me more than I charge them and that kind of stuff. But it's hard because like a lot of friends, like they expect stuff, or they would order from you if you were cheaper from, compared to this other place or whatever, not thinking about like, okay, well, I can't charge Amazon prices and I can't charge.
Right, because you're not on that scale.
Right. And so, and then when I started doing more laser stuff, because it was like new stuff to my family and friends group, they didn't understand how much work, time, and money went into those things. So they didn't really understand the price in those things either. And so I did struggle with some of that in the beginning. And then it was always the Facebook friends. They'd send me a screenshot of, something on Etsy and ask me if I could make exactly that. And it would be someone who's selling it on Etsy for probably way cheaper than they really should. And then they're asking me if I can do like even cheaper, like, the friend discount. And it's like, you're my Facebook friend. I haven't seen you since high school. Like, you're not, you don't get the friend discount. So yeah, the support means a lot because, I mean, it's all you got sometimes in the beginning.
Right. When you support, and this is the thing I'll tell anybody now, when you make the decision to support a local or small business or whatever, be patient. That's the biggest thing you need to do is be patient. That's why I never hounded you about anything.
You didn't. You were you were so patient because there was times where like, shit would get rough. And unfortunately and fortunately, I knew, Keith would always tell me, obviously, if it's like a gift for somebody or something like that. But if it's just a t-shirt for him and I had, say I had a lot of orders or it was like Christmas or something, I would be like, hey, can this wait? And he would always, no worries whenever you get to it. And sometimes that would honestly take a couple months. And he was just happy when he finally got it. Like, it
was like Christmas.
Yeah, it was.
It really was, because here's the thing. Most of the time I didn't know when it was coming.
Right.
And so you have no idea how many crap days, especially when I was in corrections, how many crap days I had. And then I went to the mailbox.
And there's a Riley Black t-shirt.
I was like, oh man, you don't understand. You just say someone's like today, because I was about to go to work today and an inmate was about to get the business. But now I got my little soft t-shirt. He gonna live another day. So
he'll just get some mace to the face.
Yeah.
Right. Now he just get some gas. That's all. He'd be fine.
But yeah, I mean that's another huge part of it too, is just the patience. Is that like, again, and in not being able to offer Amazon prices, I don't have Amazon employees either. So like when the shit hits the fan at home or with the toddler, or you're sick, or or you're in a very rough pregnancy, things take a little bit longer than you plan on it. And having people who are patient and understanding that, like, you're a human, and
Right. And
things happens and whatever.
here's another thing I also looked at too that I kind of worked my mind into thinking. So I don't know if some people may know the show or not, but Duck Dynasty, and there were certain scenes where it's just the three of them, the two brothers and the uncle, making the duck calls. Now,
Right.
granted, they're so big now they do have the manufacturer part of it, but
Right.
I'm pretty sure you have, if you want a handmade one by them, you have to pay extra money or whatever.
Right.
So in my mind, that's what I pictured. I pictured you by yourself doing these things, and then I definitely really got patient when I forgot what shirt it was you made for me that you took an extra like almost a day because the letters letters had to be perfect. They just had to
When
be perfect.
I posted it on it's on my Instagram, I think, where I literally anybody who designs, there's like nodes on the letters, and I had to change literally the nodes to make the letters look like the shirt and feel that we were trying to duplicate.
Right.
So it was literally like I'm making this letter skinnier and this letter like thicker, and like messing with like the actual shape of the letters. And yeah. So, and I knew I had to video that because it was like people don't understand what goes into that. There was no font that fit what the look he was looking for.
Right.
And so I had to I found one that was close, and then I had to take it the rest of the way, literally manually on my computer. And he was like mind blown. He was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
First of all, I was all geeked up. I was like, "Hey, that's my shirt!" All right, yeah. And then I read the caption. I was like, "Ooh, that's my shirt." I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, that's in which I should get better about doing, because I mean, people don't know what they don't know, and they love seeing the behind the scenes thing.
Yeah.
And so showing them like, okay, sure, like the cake toppers I do now, the lowest I probably charge for a cake topper, if it's super super simple, it's $20. If it's elaborate like a lot of mine are, it's $25, $30, $35. And, when it comes down to it, I mean, it's going on a cake for like a couple hours, and then, a lot of people keep them because they are
as
like
a
so
keepsake.
fancy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But they don't understand, what goes into it. So I try to, I've done a couple of those, and those have done really well on like my reels and TikToks and stuff, because it's like, it's 3 different colors, and I have to like add the adhesive tape, and I have to like, there's the design part and the actual assembly part, and sometimes there's a lot of like tiny little pieces that I have to put in the right place. And so showing the behind the scenes, because it's like it looks cool, and you think, because like, I'm a professional, that like, maybe it doesn't take me that long, or sure, I get faster as I get better, but at the same time, like there's still a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't realize.
I think what it is, some people think like I know as a sports fan, you get to the end of your journey of a championship, and they always show the shirts being made, and when what they show, they always show the last press.
Yeah.
Right before the shirt comes off.
Nothing before that.
Right. So everyone's thinking, oh, well, all she's doing is just doing that one little press. How long can that take? You put the letters in there, put it down.
Yeah.
I got an iron on. I got back at 85. All I do is put it on the thing. That's what she's doing, right? No, it's more than just an iron on.
When I when I stopped doing shirts, I remember having to explain to like my.
Oh, when you did that, I cried a little bit. So I
know.
I said, no, what? Are you serious?
Yes, I told you last. I told you last.
Thank you. Because
I know I didn't want to hear it. You were part of the reason I kept doing them for so long.
Wow, thank you.
But it, like, and again, I've covered this before, and the reason why I stopped doing them, but just the design part. If it's a super simple design, and me, I'm a perfectionist, so it has to be perfect and centered and good. And I would take a little bit longer than probably the next person who wouldn't worry about that stuff in designing it. And so like a quick design was like 30 minutes. A more complex design was like an hour. And then now I have to cut it out of vinyl. So I have to get the vinyl. I have to cut the vinyl to the right size so that I don't have a lot of waste, because that's money.
Right.
Then I have to cut it, and then I have to weed out everything that isn't going on the shirt. And then the shirt, you have to turn on the heat press. Again, if you're only doing one shirt, it's super annoying how long it takes for a heat press to heat up. Because, you know, you want everything like instant. Well,
it's almost like an oven.
Yeah, it is. It literally is. It takes as long as our oven to like heat up. And so you're like sitting there and you're like waiting, because of course you never think about, you know, turning it on earlier than when you actually need it. At least I never did. And you didn't want to, because again, it's 300 and friggin' 25 degrees. So you didn't want to turn it on too early, because
and warm up the whole house.
Yeah.
Right. And because that's South Florida humidity.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hot enough. So then you gotta warm up the heat press, and you gotta pre-press it to get out all the humidity and stuff out of the shirt before you put the vinyl on. Then you put the vinyl on, and then you press it. And then you take off the carrier sheet, and then you press it one more time. And then you're like, yes, I'm finally done. No, you're not. Now you got to get out the fucking backdrop, and you got to take a picture of the shirt, because you got to have proof of the work that you just did. And you got to, you know, show your customer. You got to show other customers. And then you got to fold it. And then you still got to ship the shit out. So, like, even if you're, like, super, super efficient, it's like it's 2 to 4 hours of work sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I just made, let's see, $20 if I was lucky. It was like, I just got, and then I started doing the math, and I'm like, I just got paid $10.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Hour.
You got $20 for the shirt, but you only made.
And that's if it only took me 2.
Yeah.
And it didn't take me longer. You know, and obviously when you were doing bigger batches and stuff, you'd have more of a process, and I definitely did get smarter towards the end, and like, I wouldn't do just one-off shirt, or I'd tell them I'm doing shirts. Like, I started, before I quit, I started doing them like once a month, and I'd save up all the shirts for that month, and then I'd do them all at once, and then it was like a couple hours, and you know, that helped, but it was still just a lot of, and I didn't want to have a whole bunch of t-shirts on hand, so I'd have to order them ahead of time, and then, like, you know, if people changed their mind, or they wanted a different color, or if they were like Keith and had no idea what color they wanted in the first place.
I had no idea. Well, here's the thing. I had no idea. Or I'd be like, look, what do you have? Just, I don't even order nothing. Just, what do you have? What do you have in a nice soft,
any color you could desire, Keith. I have it. I don't know. What do you think?
Like, well, I have to order this. I'm like, no. Just what do you have on hand right now in front of you? What do you have? And then you'd be like, I got that, and that.
Oh,
like,
right, yeah.
That one. Yeah,
no, but then you would throw the curveballs when you wanted me to match, what do you call it?
Oh, yeah, like a certain
Florida,
team.
Florida State.
Yeah,
or,
I need this. I need this maroon. And I'm like, Keith, I can't do that. I don't have that maroon. I need like this gold. I'm like, I don't have that gold. No, I don't have that gold, Keith.
She's like, I have dark red. I have dark red and yellow mustard. I'm like, I don't know.
He legit sent me a couple pictures a couple times of like outfits he wanted me to match to, shoes and hats, and I'm like,
yes,
Keith, yes. I don't the resolution, the color on your screen may not be the same with the color on my screen. I don't want to send this to you and you tell me, because I don't know if that's the right color of that t-shirt or not.
The right tone.
I don't know if that's the right. I don't know if that's the right hue.
Right, exactly.
Just try it anyway and see. But I will say this though. I will say this. You rolled the dice and got a 7 or 11 every time, because I will say, every shirt that I got, it matched pretty much to what I was trying to go for anyway.
Good.
So yeah, no, I have no complaints. And then it got to one point where I know you're calling. You asked me like, look, be honest. Are you getting any issues, like any holes or anything peeling off?
That was another reason why I stopped doing them too.
I was like, what are you talking about? I think I had, now granted, the only vinyl that has ever peeled off, which respectively, I totally get why, because of what it is the when you sent me the Valentine pack of the underwear.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's the only vinyl I've ever gotten that kind of peeled off, and I'm like, well, I get it. A lot of friction down there and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Yeah.
But everything else of the shirts were fine. The vinyl never came off. I never got any holes and seams or anything like that, like other people were saying they were getting. So
Yeah. I went through a patch where like I don't know if it was bad vinyl because it was like it didn't happen on every shirt, so I could not figure out how and why it was happening. But I had a couple people tell me like they'd wash it once and like it was coming off, and I'm like, what? Like how? Because then there was you who was wearing the shirts like crazy and wasn't and washing them and even drying them and was having like zero issues, and I'm like, how how is this happening?
I'm gonna tell you exactly why it's happening. I'm gonna tell you exactly why. And everybody, I'm a believer in this, and it's what happened. Going back to what I said, patience. Because I was patient, and you didn't have to. I guarantee you, some of those, if you look back on, you probably had to rush them because people are like, I need them by next Thursday, and you're like, oh shit. So now you're rushing, and then you probably.
I don't know. I'm such a perfectionist though that like. I mean,
I don't know. It was weird.
The problem was they would give me all this anxiety too of like, now it came time to press it, and I'm like, am I is the pressure good? Is the heat too high, too low?
Right.
Like there was, unfortunately, there was a lot of factors that it could have been. Right. It could be bad vinyl, where the vinyl, the adhesive wasn't like doing as well, or it was old, or like maybe when we moved from Florida to Colorado, it sat in the pod too long, and whatever. Right. But so I just couldn't figure out why, and I was like, I can't deal with this anxiety of like, because then it was like, again, I'm not making that much anyway. Say I just made $10 an hour on this shirt. I don't want the text message a month from now, 2 weeks from now, saying my shirt's falling apart and now I got to give you a refund. Right. And now I made $0. Right. Well, now I'm in the negative because I didn't get paid for the work I put in.
Right.
So yeah, it was just like.
Or if I just make Keith 3 more shirts, I'll give him money back.
Yeah, that's true. And Keiths don't fall apart for some reason. So. Yeah. So let's talk about the contests.
Yeah, how many contests did you enter?
I don't talk about it. It's next question. Next question.
Nah, we gotta talk about this.
That was crazy.
So when I was starting out, I haven't done one in a long time. Yeah. But when I was starting out, I was doing a lot of contests to get like, followers and interaction and stuff like that. And so say the contest was like, oh, you get 1 entry if you comment. You get 2 entries if you tag a friend, or you get, another entry if you share the post.
I mean, we're sharing, commenting, and tagging 14 people.
If every criteria there was to try and get an entry, he would do them all. He would tag every single friend, homie, family. He would tag everyone in those posts.
I remember one of them. I just knew I was going to win because it was like I had one of the shirts on, so I reposted me in the shirts. I tagged a bunch of people on Facebook or Instagram, and then I shared this and that or whatever. People commented on what I shared. So I'm like, oh man, this is it. I got this. And then you did the whole thing where the
wheels would literally be mostly Keith. It'd be like Keith, Amanda, Keith. Brittany,
and it was an
Keith,
online generator,
like,
right?
Yeah, and it was like I didn't pick it. I literally would film me pushing the like spin button and it choosing someone. There was even one contest where there were several winners, and like I think there was like 2 to 4 winners, and he wasn't any of them. And I was like, oh my god,
like, what? Because like here's the thing. Okay, so once again, I'm a supporter, so I'm supporting. I'm doing my thing, or whatever.
Yeah.
So at first it was like, okay, whatever. I didn't care, and I can't remember what contest it was, but it was like I was legitimately a third of the wheel.
Yeah.
And
I
he
was like,
still
there's
didn't get
no
it.
Still
way.
didn't win.
There's no way. And then like how, and I remember this one. I remember this because I got pissed off because it was like the third time that your sister won, and it was like I
This
had a
rigged.
big chunk. I had a big chunk, and then you got a really thin thing of Angie, and then I had another chunk on the other side of that, and it landed right in between it hit Angie. I was like, and I was like, son of a bitch! This is bullshit. Man, I was so mad. I was so mad. So then it got to the point where I was just determined. Now I'm no longer supporting you. Now it's me versus
Just
you.
trying to win.
Me versus the wheel generator.
I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's 10% off. I don't care if it's a button. I don't care if it's
This guy,
I gotta
he
win
was
something.
I am
so
going to
desperate
win.
to
It was-
win. He didn't. There was one contest where the prize was a $20 credit towards something with Riley Black, and I
I was
posted
like,
it, and 5 seconds later, my phone goes off, cha-ching, and I'm like, what? What is that? And I'm like, huh, okay. And I go to my phone. It's Keith sending me $20 for a contest entry. And I was like, no, Keith. Like, you don't.
He was paying to enter
Yes.
contests.
And then I'm like, no, that's the prize. You don't have to. There's
But
no.
once
paid-
again, everybody
purchase
knows me.
necessary.
Like I just said in our last podcast, I don't like to read. So of
You
course I
don't.
didn't read the whole thing
Yeah.
entirely. I just saw contest $20.
One thing that I loved about those contests
Mm-hmm.
and stuff were that people that didn't know Keith
Yeah, we're commenting.
were like commenting and like hoping he would win. Like, oh, Keith's gotta win this.
Keith's gonna win
like,
this
like,
one.
It was a thing. It was
Yeah.
an ongoing thing that
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it was.
Keith
Yeah, it was.
wasn't winning amongst your customers and
Yeah.
people following.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, yo, this is take like it's like it got to the point where like, well, now Keith can't win.
Right. Yeah.
He can't
Well,
win.
no, I'm gonna say it right now. And I'm gonna say, and anyone who was there then, like,
gotta
you
do
know,
a
like
recount
year
if he
ago
wins.
or whatever.
Right.
I don't know, but all of you who were supporting me really and were pushing for me to win, thank you very much. 'Cause I was so butthurt. I was like, I ain't gonna win. That's what we gonna do? Is that what Black man can't get nothing?
It was the universe,
Sorry.
Keith. It wasn't me.
And I jokingly told her, I'm like, you have to have a Keith wins contest. Where it's like
No,
the contest.
we kind of came up with that
Yeah,
together.
it's like a Keith's win contest where it's a contest, but only Keith can win.
Yeah, so I did. I made a contest specifically for Keith to where he literally, it was almost impossible for him to lose.
You should have had one sliver on that thing
I
that,
should
like,
have,
that
because
said
he would have hit
bankrupt,
it.
like Jeopardy.
That's why I didn't, is because I felt bad because
If he hit it?
he would have hit it, and then I would have been,
I would have fallen
I
out.
would have
I would have
enjoyed
died.
it very much,
Let me-
but we might have lost a friend at that point because
No, I would have gotten
No,
a phone
I
call.
was just-
I would have just gotten a phone
no.
call.
I know. I remember. No, I remember because it was another contest went by. Whatever. I didn't win. I was just like I think even like Penny was even messing with me at one point. I was
Yes,
just
she
like,
was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god. So I remember being at work, and I think it was like in the span of like 1 or 2 days because I remember you randomly was like, hey. When are you going to be online or something like that? I was like, well, I'm going to be on work. I don't know. And just let me know. So I was like, okay. So then I was on my break and, you know, scrolling through Facebook like I do because I'm on break or whatever. And I saw the picture of me in the T-shirt, which you did match the hat. So kudos.
Yeah.
So, so I see the thing and I'm just like, well, this is weird. So I read the thing. And it's, you know, and it's a contest and it explains the whole thing, how I never win and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, hopefully you can win. And I told you before, I shit you not, I was in the break room fighting back tears. Because I was like, I cannot believe that they did this for me. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, and my stupid ass was like, I'm going to win.
Finally gonna win one.
I want to win one. This is great. I want to win. So
Yeah, because so I made it so that it was like a point system that like
right.
depending on how hard Keith worked, and I knew he would work hard.
Yeah.
I legit wanted to see how far you would go. And it was like, okay, if he gets this many likes, comments, just because what the contest made him do was he had to get his friends to get involved.
Right.
So
Right.
his friends had to, because
At the end of the day, we're still marketing here.
Right. Keith can tag 150 people in 2 seconds. That's no problem. I need those 150 people to actually share, to actually comment, to actually interact on the post. And it was like, okay, like I know Keith has the ability, but I need you
We
to
believe
pull
in
it out
Keith.
of your friends.
Right.
And so
right,
it was
right.
like, how many shares can you get? How many likes can you get? How many comments? And he immediately was sharing it, tagging 100 million people, like begging for like the support of like
right.
high school
And
friends.
I was low, and like you, I was lowballing it. I was like, okay, well, let's see. If I get that, I can at least get 10% off that,
Right.
and then I
was,
could probably
different
get
levels
free
of
shipping.
like, yeah.
So at bare minimum, I'll get 10% off my next thing and free shipping.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. And so I'm like you guys. I'm lowballing, thinking that's and that was with like I think like so many like 10 or 20 likes.
Yeah.
And about maybe 10 shares or something like that.
Yeah, it didn't make it too hard. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't too. I was like, yeah. I said, yeah. Now I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I can get something out of this. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
And
your friends were so funny too on those comments. They were like, "I'm pulling for you, Keith. You got this.
you got it. You
If anybody deserves this, Keith does."
And that's what I thought was so great that like some people had followed that struggle on Facebook of me like, God damn it, I didn't win again. It's some bullshit. Blah, 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 blah. So I didn't think that people were going to jump on it like the way they did.
No
and
one's
like,
going to say
I want to say like whatever the maximum requirement was, I think I got it like one day.
Yeah. No, yeah, you
I
got
was
it
like-
almost immediately, I think. I was like, oh, shit, I didn't make this hard enough.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, well. Thank you guys for your support. And by the way, it only took me 23 hours and 10 minutes to win the little contest there. So
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you guys. I had no idea. Like at one point, I think the post had, between likes, loves.
Oh, man, yeah.
No, it was like almost 100 at one point.
Yeah.
And even it kept going. And I was just like, holy shit! I did not think this many people would jump on it. So I was
you got the top prize, whatever that was.
Right,
I don't remember what it was,
prize.
but yeah.
I got the top prize and then some, because you're like, I can't believe that many people actually responded. So
Right.
you threw in an extra whatever.
They
and I
heard
was
your
just like,
cries for help.
right. So the only thing that would have made it better if it was February. But I mean, it's just the people.
His month, Black History Month.
Oh.
Why February? His birthday's in May.
Why?
I was like trying to do the math, and I'm like,
what's going on in February?
It's not his birthday. He's a Taurus.
Was it a leap year? Was it a leap year that year?
Oh.
She's like, aren't we both Tauruses? Why is he talking about February? I don't know what's going on.
Black History Month.
But yeah, but it was really great, and I more so once again because I'm that guy. I was more so happy about the exposure that you guys were getting, and I was like, because I remember even the shirt that I had on was great to the point to where someone was like, "Oh my god, where'd you get the shirt from?" I'm like, "You fucking moron!"
The one
contest.
from the contest.
The contest.
Yeah, they were too worried about just making you win that they didn't even
Right. I
really.
was like, see, I'm not the only person that don't read. I was like, so, but yeah, I some people were like, I didn't know, and then like people at work were like, oh, I was wondering where you got those funny shirts from, and I'm like, yeah, I told you guys, Riley Black. I don't know why you guys are still whatever. So, I was happy just to be able to pump, you guys up as well and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, I was like, hey, I'm gonna win. So I'm fine.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win for everybody.
I feel like I need to do another contest and just see how it goes.
Just, but not a Keith contest, just a regular contest.
Just a regular contest. Of course, have Keith enter he normally
of course
does.
He's going to enter.
And see
I'm
how it
going
goes.
to enter. And then what's going to happen is either Angie or Penny is going to win. And I'm going to be like, it's all over again, man. This is some bullshit.
I know, and the hard part is like, because a good portion of my customers and supporters are friends and family. So I can't do the like, if you're a friend or family member, you can't enter.
Right.
Because then nobody would answer.
Nobody wins.
You wouldn't have a
Nobody.
winner.
Nobody. Does nothing.
I,
No
I mean,
winners.
I do have a couple like strangers and like actual
Now.
like organic following now, yeah. But
Right.
like,
but do you have anybody
still.
following from the Philippines?
No,
No.
Don't get into it, Keith. Please don't. We
Don't
just
do that?
we
Okay.
just interviewed someone from Australia. on
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
podcast.
say,
Don't,
Oh,
don't
you.
even, don't go there. Our
Yeah.
I'm
podcast,
sorry.
our podcast.
We have
we only
3%
have the Philippines.
listeners in Australia. 3%.
We only have that 1% of the Philippines.
Right.
Everything else is the U.S.
Congratulations
You know,
to you
This
in all your success.
this podcast is worldwide.
No, and I mean, it really is. Like, we're in a couple countries.
Yes.
We're in one
See, there you
that
go.
we
Thank you,
didn't even
Keith.
know what it was called.
See.
We had to look
we're
it
lucky.
up.
We're look. I'm gonna tell you right now. We're happy with our 3 counties.
I'm
okay?
happy. I'm happy with whoever listens to the Keith and John show.
Our 3 counties. We
That's
got
it.
3 counties: Dade, Broward, and Duval. That's all
it.
we got.
Not even Monroe County. Nothing in between.
Not even no West Palm.
And then a
not
1% in the Philippines.
even Orange County. No, nothing.
In Manila. That's it.
And then Manny Pacquiao. That's all we
Right,
got.
but hopefully this will change. Hopefully some of these listeners will check out the Riley Black Project, even if it's just for the Keith and John show.
Yeah, there
even
you
if
go.
it's for just one episode.
Just listen to the one I was on.
There you go.
That's it. One episode. That's all you. It's one episode. Will help out. Will help out Keith and John. And they're-
One episode a week.
One episode a week. That's all it takes.
Just put it on in the background. You don't even have to listen.
Yeah, like some people. Like
You
some
just
people,
want the
some people-
play
We
credit.
just
Yeah,
need
yeah.
some. We need our
I play
numbers,
video game. I
man.
listen to you guys while I play my video game. Yeah, just do that.
No, that was an
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
person. Yeah, that was an actual person.
That was an actual person.
Yeah,
admitted that.
he watches while he plays video games. Here's the caveat: if he doesn't need to listen to the video game,
Right. But if he has to listen,
then we get cut off.
Oh, wah, wah.
That's it. Right, exactly.
Yeah. But if he doesn't have to listen to his video game,
Oh,
then he'll.
Yes.
I almost
listen.
forgot. Now we got to get to the laser.
Oh yeah, what
Now,
laser
what did
knowledge you got?
Yeah,
what you got
did you what'd you learn?
in your research?
Oh,
And-
I learned in my research. This is what I learned. I learned that basically there are side effects to laser hair removal, and it's for men and women.
I
and you
knew
can
this
get,
was good.
That's
it was like what?
that's
what?
wrong laser.
You tell me.
No. See, this is a laser cutter. It's kind of like a CNC machine.
It is cutting. It
It
cuts
cut-
the hair.
No. This cuts
That's what I told
wood.
you. You said laser
engraves.
cutting, and I said, oh, like
Yeah.
like the hair.
Should have been a little more clear.
Are you serious?
All that knowledge, nothing,
No, did you really? Did you really?
nothing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is-
I really thought. I'm so embarrassed right now because I was like I had all this.
I
So
mean,
wait.
if you go, and are you
So wait,
looking
did
into
you,
hair
like,
removal
you
yourself?
have you seen my laser? Have you seen I've posted it before? Do you remember what it looks like?
I'm embarrassed to say no.
Okay. Well, that's
remember-
probably good because if you thought that so do you,
I just want to see
do
him
you-
laying down on the bed of the
do
laser.
you think I'm gonna put my leg in there and just while I'm
Well,
at
no,
it,
I figured-
I'm gonna
no,
take
I'm not
a
gonna
break
lie. I'm not
from
gonna-
signs and I'm gonna go ahead and get this hair off my leg.
You're right, because I thought that made more money because the whole thing with the t-shirt. So hair removal makes a lot of money. So I figured laser hair removal, that's perfect. And then, there's some, there are people that are kind of hairy that, and I thought
I'm
that's
crying
what
right now, just so you know.
Listen, if it was that kind of laser, I wouldn't have to shave my back anymore.
That's what well, see, now that you brought it up, I'm glad you said that. That's what I thought. I thought he was like your test dummy,
I mean, you
could
might be
test-
able to fit in the mirror.
I might be able to fit.
It's huge.
Me?
just-
No, I
Mira.
wouldn't. It's not that huge.
It's a 36-inch
I just-
bed.
I'm not a 36-inch guy.
I-
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so embarrassed right now. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I just
You-
well, you know
you did
what?
all that research.
I tried. I tried.
How,
Wrong
was it like?
research. I tried.
Did you just do Wikipedia? Did you actually deep
I
dive
did
into
some
it?
Googling and then I did some comparison.
I mean,
Okay.
so in
And,
your
you know,
defense, it's probably the first thing that does come up.
right?
But so the lasers we use
Lasers
are
Circles.
CO2 lasers for laser cutting and engraving of materials like wood, acrylic, paper, leather, cardboard.
So no skin.
Not
No.
metal.
No skin.
No,
no
skin.
skin.
Highly discouraged with these
You know, I would
lasers.
assume that you would have went with laser tattoo removal. is what I.
Well, if that was the case, I'd be down there because there's one I want to get removed. But I thought it was hair for some reason. I don't know why I thought it was hair, but it's not hair.
No, it's not.
It's engraving,
and it's not even the same kind of laser used for something else.
And now that I'm saying it out loud, that's a smoother transition with T-shirts to engraving compared to T-shirts to backs.
It's a laser, right?
Just a little
It's a
bit.
hair removal.
Yeah. Now that I'm saying it out loud, now it makes
Have you ever have I ever posted about laser hair removal?
Well, because this is what I thought, right? People, that's kind of private. No one wants to have their back or their mustache.
I have had it done before, and it was pretty amazing. But it
right, but you don't put that on. I'm like, because I'm thinking like, bikini wax. Like, who wants to put their ass up on your thing? So
you'd be surprised.
But I knew you did. I knew you did crafts and stuff like that. I did not know the crafts were done with lasers.
Crafts,
so
not cracks.
No, not cracks.
Crafts.
Yeah, see, I thought it was cracks,
no,
it's crafts. Crafts with lasers.
Yeah.
Got it. I got it now. Sorry.
Oh well.
All right, so I guess I will learn something new today. I thought I was going to teach you guys, but I guess the teacher is now students. Awesome. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, Keith. So I just had like a realization that like random, of course, but so he's the t-shirt connoisseur. He was also the guy who sent us some pretty good onesies for JR. The
superhero ones.
Yeah. Well, but he sent some. He sent Miami Heat ones.
Yes, I did.
The Call of Duty.
Yep.
Duty DOOTY.
And we just folded all of those for this one.
We
so
did.
That's why we
it reminded me of we'd randomly just receive a funny onesie from Keith in the mail.
Yes.
Yeah, and at one point he sent me he also, and I mean this is a little bit away from that, but he sent me a keychain when I got the Mustang.
Yes.
And I had to call Amazon to find out who sent it, and they're like, it's a gift. I'm like, okay, but can you?
Who sent
I'm like, okay, so if you can't tell me who sent it, can you tell me where it came from?
Right.
Because by then I can deduct where it was sent from. And they were like, oh well, I'm like, okay. So then I rattled off some
was it Jacksonville?
Well, that was one of them. That was one of them that they're like, okay, yeah, it came from Jacksonville. I'm like, okay, then I know exactly what you said. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. At least you got that because I still don't know who sent me as a wedding gift a sign that it has the Miami Dolphin logo. No, you did.
I did.
No. What does it say?
Huh?
What does it say? Go. What does it say?
Congratulations, Miami Dolphins. I don't know, but I'm taking credit for it. I sent it. If no one's owning up to it, it's from me.
What if it's not good?
I'm still gonna take credit.
No, it's good.
The fact that he's bringing it up means it's good.
Right.
That's true.
It's good. It's the Miami Dolphin logo, and it says, "I love football and my dog."
Dog. Yeah, that was me.
Right.
I sent it. I love football and my dog. I sent it.
But I did the same thing. You go to Amazon. I can't tell you who sent it. Wait, but they sent it to me. Why can't you tell me? We can't tell you that information.
Yeah, I paid extra for that.
Okay.
For to be anonymous.
Anonymous. Yes, I paid extra for that. But now that you're calling it out and it's
He's
still
Cuban.
weighing,
He wouldn't pay extra
and
for
it's
that.
still weighing on your mind. I figured I wouldn't be allowed to pay extra for that. My wife wouldn't allow me to pay extra for that.
Whatever. No.
You hate that song, so you cannot sing that song. You hate that song.
And I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's the sad part with that. Off topic with that song. So I told the DJ there are certain songs you cannot play, right? And that was one of them. And then I find out later on that not one but two of my friends tried to get the DJ to play that song.
It's an iconic Spanish song. Everyone loves that song. The only reason you hate that song is because you don't understand the lyrics and you saw the video. It's the only reason you don't like that song.
That is correct. That is correct. But I'm not gonna. But on the flip side of that, though, I will say this: the random times, which it is random because I'm here in Jacksonville, the random times I do hear it, I do think of you and Will, and I smile every time.
What I love about that song is that now he knows the intro to it, but for the longest time he would only know the hook. So he'd be jamming the hell out of this song.
Yes.
Until it got to the hook, and then he'd be like, I hate this song. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you loved it at the beginning. And it's just now that you realize what song it is, you don't like it. You're replaying the video in your head. Stop playing the video.
Yeah, because when I tell you, there's so many times I was in a club and that song would start, and I would get excited because everybody else is getting bing, bing, bing. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And then one day at work, I remember it was you, Javi, and somebody was like, hey,
Rolly.
hey, have you seen the video? Rolly, yeah. Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. And then I watched the video, and I'm like,
big mistake.
I was like, when I tell you my mouth dropped, I was like, are
So-
they selling her?
Wait,
is
the
she
song.
asleep?
Cutting this out. by the way.
No, we're not cutting this out.
sir.
I do the editing. I don't know how you're.
This is my podcast, and I'm already
I'm sorry.
zoned out.
It's our
I'm
podcast.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. So then, anyway, they cut her
Bye.
laser,
Part two.
and
Part
then-
two on the Keith and John show. We'll continue this conversation over on the Keith and John show podcast.
Episode 16.5. So all
What do you
5
say?
listeners that we have.
Huh? Oh, you want me to finish the
Yeah,
story?
we're gonna cut it out anyway.
No, I'm not gonna cut it out.
Oh, no, don't
So
do
so
that.
basically the song is about slaves overturning their master. So the video, it shows them arriving on shore. Yeah. So he sees slaves in chains coming on the beach.
Yeah, that's awkward.
And he's like, what the fuck is this? So
Yeah. Now, mind you,
And
I've
that's
not
it.
seen
He's
the whole
hated the
video
song
in
ever
its
since.
Yeah, I have not seen the video in its entirety. Once I saw that, I walked away.
right. Yeah, that's it. That's all he saw. He
So
didn't
there's
see the part where
No.
where slave was
They
beating the master
overthrow, right?
and all that. He didn't see that part. He didn't make it that
Okay.
far.
No, I didn't even. It's like watching Cuban Roots. I was just like, I'm not.
And it's a Colombian song, so it's not Cuban roots. It's a Colombian song.
Colombian Roots. That's fine. I'm not like
God.
edit Cuban Roots out and just go with Colombian Roots. Since we're editing stuff. Okay. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, we've lost our laser people. Okay, I want to keep
sorry.
listeners on your podcast.
Well, welcome to the Keith and John show. Apparently, this has become the Keith and John show.
okay, look,
You're
I
losing
didn't- I didn't
listeners.
This was a terrible idea to bring you here.
Hey, look. I didn't want to say this, but I'm only here to steal listeners. That's it. You got. Wait. First of all, congratulations on your
Thank you.
3K
Yes.
listens.
Yep.
Yeah, but like Eddie Murphy, can we have that?
Why you say yep like that? Like you should
went
be proud of that too,
No, it's-
Mister. This is
So
our podcast.
it's pretty crazy to think about. Actually.
yeah, it's nuts. It's like people
crazy. It's
have
insane.
listened
I'm
to our
in-
voices
I'm-
3,000
like I
times.
said, I'm impressed. Like hands down. Because once again, I was there since day one, and I remember,
Mm-hmm.
just asking for a T-shirt and hoping to get it, and hoping it looks like what I saw. And-
Right.
and- well, so I mean, so to go from that to now,
Right. Pretty crazy.
There's a whole nother. Now it's arts and I don't want to say arts and crafts, but
Right, yeah.
but there's more. You advanced, and now you have this podcast, and for it to blow up as fast as it has,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. It's remarkable, and I definitely and being well, I was already impressed anyway, but being that you have a podcast and you understand how hard it is to get listeners, and for
Right.
you
Yes.
to have people just to follow you like that, like nothing. It's just that shows how great of a businesswoman that you were or are,
Why,
you
thank
know,
you.
which is great, and I applaud you for that. And I'm not just saying that because I have my own contest. I'm saying that because
Right. I mean, I do have a pretty good co-host, when he contributes, but
Yeah, whenever I'm allowed to talk.
oh,
'Cause
shut up.
her and her other friend Heather.
Oh,
I mean,
whatever.
it's like I just sit here and play producer.
Are you like the P Diddy? So you just go, yeah,
Pretty
That's right.
much.
Uh huh.
Woo!
Bad boy.
That's it.
No. So every once in a
Bad
while,
boy.
he
Brought it back to
and I
life.
won't say like it surprises me because I guess it's not like a surprise anymore. But like he'll do really good, and like again, not having a lot of knowledge as far as laser goes, he knows. He does know at least that I'm not lasering off hair. But he
That's key.
He-
That's been key in this podcast.
he'll come up with some really good questions because like we can, when I'm talking to someone who's been doing it for a while or whatever, he'll sometimes ask a question like, "Oh, okay, what does this mean?" or "Why do you do this?" or that kind of stuff. So he comes through pretty good with the we call it like the beginner.
I'm the voice of the beginner.
Yeah, the beginner perspective.
Exactly,
So
exactly. Well. I mean, outside of that, I mean, once again, because we run another podcast. That's his thing. I mean, I think with both of us, but more so him because he's still in the biz.
Right.
He does understand how to ask questions and how to be a host and a proper host and
Why, thank you, guys.
I tell him all the time. I said, "Dude, I'm just here for the ride. You are driving. I am just in the passenger seat going left or right or whatever." He's
oh, damn. I'm here for this ride. I don't drive this one.
He really doesn't.
Yes.
I mean, he sets up the equipment. I don't touch that at all. Like, he sets it up and he does the editing. And every once in a while, I'll be like, let's change the intro to this part and let's cut out this part and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, like,
she's the producer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For
I
us,
come up with the topics. I get the guests. You know, that kind of stuff.
But right, for us, he sets up the jokes, and I just whatever.
I set him up, and he knocks them down.
Well,
match made in heaven.
Something like that. I don't know. If I can not get dogged out about my age or the age gap between us in one episode, it's just all the time. All the time.
I would just like to mention that the charge nurse today told me that she was very surprised that I was 37 years old, and it made my day. Speaking of age and being old. I feel real I feel real old at 37 weeks pregnant at 37. Like, everything hurts. I'm tired. And she was like, 37? Wow. I was like, thanks. Maybe it's a mask where you can only see half my face. Maybe my eyes are young. I'm gonna tell
you right now. No, I'm gonna tell you what it is now, and maybe it's Colorado. I don't know or anything like that. But I will say, like, your friend group, like you.
Yeah, we age really well. My sister, she
Penny,
looks amazing.
You guys age really, really gracefully, hands down. Like you guys look really good. So. Like I said, I don't know if it's something in the Aurora water, or whatever, but I know some people I work with, and they tell me how old they are, and I'm just like, there's no reason why you're younger than me, and I look better than you. I don't care.
Well, yeah, because you're black.
No,
black don't crack.
Black don't crack. But meth is hell. Yeah.
Well, then there's that.
Then there's that. So, I mean, sometimes you need to just pay a little extra and get some weed.
It's funny.
It's not the way to go.
I met Keith when I was 20 years old, and I'm turning 39 this year, like in a few days.
Yeah. See,
the only thing that's changed about Keith is he's got white hair.
Yeah,
he's got white in his beard. That's the only thing that's changed about Keith.
I will say that I have noticed a slight change lately, but it took until now.
Because it's the white hair and the beard.
Yeah, maybe that's
all it is.
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. And
you lost weight.
Right. So
losing weight kind of ages.
I remember the great Charles Balai told me that. He said, if you keep your weight down, that helps with your aging and as far as how you look, and you don't look as old as you are. But I also noticed what it is that when I grew out the full beard. And everything that was it. It's all that hair, and a lot of that hair is gray.
Yeah,
it's in your face compared to when you cut it down a little bit and you cut a lot of it off. Like now, I got a goatee. Now it's like it's just like a hint of gray compared to holy shit, Methuselah, you look old as shit with all that gray in your head. So, and then I cut all my hair off, so that's another thing too. So I mean, so if I let my hair grow out and let the beard grow out, it's like a Jesus met George Jefferson mix.
I've been wanting Keith to grow out.
He wants
his hair.
that every
I kind of want to see it too. I've never
every
seen
September, he's like, "Look, do me a favor, dog. Can you just be George Jefferson for one Halloween?"
Listen, when this man went to the army for a little bit, and they posted pictures up on Facebook because he wasn't allowed to he couldn't get a haircut all the time, and it was growing in. I was like, Oh, so that's what it looks like. I gotta peek into what it looks like.
Right. You
Yeah,
got a
it was
little
like
glimpse.
they would only let us get like a one or a
Buzz.
two,
Yeah.
and it was like an even buzz. So I'm like, I understand that, but you understand it's not even for me. So if you can like knock the rest of this off, that'd be great. No, that wouldn't be fair. So fuck you. So you're gonna get this too, like everybody else.
Yeah.
So it was not cute.
I appreciate the support from your old ass, even when you weren't winning the contest.
Wow.
You don't look it. It's okay. I can say that.
Wow.
Just because.
Thank you. I guess you can say that. I don't know.
We appreciate you because, like you said, with the money going further with small businesses, it really is true that, like, when you're sure we all support Amazon, Walmart, whatever, but when you support a small business, you literally support like JR going to swim lessons,
you support families,
or us like buying groceries and whatever. So, we appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I'll tell anybody this too. Just because someone has a quote unquote business or they have an LLC does not mean they're raking in over 100 or 200,000 a year.
No,
it does not mean
it
that at
sure
all.
does not.
It does not mean that. So understand. Just that's why I'm a big advocate on supporting, because at the end of the day, you just don't know. And like I said, I've told John many times. I said, if you have that one big break. Mm-hmm. Where now it's not just you, it's a team of people doing this and everything like that. I can say I was there from day one. Yeah. Now I'm asking for family discounts.
Right.
Now I'm like, hey,
remember when?
Remember when? That's why I just walk into the shop and go that. By the way, my name is Keith. Wrap that shit up for me. Thanks.
I'm gonna need that those day one prices.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna need that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Prime member before they even had that shit. So just go ahead and bring that up. But that's the thing. I would say is that if you're the business itself, exercise that patience, and try to get what you need to get done. But also as a consumer, you have to have the bigger patience and just wait for things. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I think in my mind, I always thought that's why I got the quality of stuff that I got, because I was patient and I didn't wait.
And you didn't expect it to come in 2 days or... Yeah.
Right, exactly. I understand this is one person doing it themselves. Mm-hmm. And understand that, and even if you have to, even if you're on the other side of that, explain to your customers, hey, I'm trying to give you the best thing I can give you, but it's just me. So if you can be patient with certain things, I totally get. That's why I try, and that's why I feel bad when I ask you for something in like November, and I totally forgot that December is right around the corner. And I'm like, and I'm like, February, that's fine. I'll wait.
It's okay.
It's my fault. It's my fault. I should have known better. I shouldn't have asked this in November. My stupid ass. This Black Friday just happened. I know I shouldn't ask that. So that's the thing. I would always say that's my biggest thing for anybody on either side of that coin is patience. Be patient with the customer. Be patient with the manufacturer, and everything works for everybody. And we're good.
All right. Well, with that, Keith, thanks for coming on the podcast.
No problem.
Normally this is the part where we plug everything, but I mean we've done a pretty good job of.
You've done enough
of plugging our podcast, and that's all.
That other podcast that my husband did.
No. I'm just saying, in case you're bored, there's a podcast with my name on it, which is Keith.
And thank you so much, Keith, for coming. It was really great having you. What's that tagline that you're supposed to say, babe, that you always forget?
And that's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project with Keith.
Bye.
With Keith and John.
Thanks for coming by.
No, but seriously, it's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done.